This video is all about making a scrunchie. So here we go, one scrunchie template. Just to review, 22 inches long, 3.5 inches wide. Now get an iron and just press it down. If like me, it needs a good press. For this part, I don't have a right side or a wrong side of this fabric. What you're going to do is, let's say if you have a pattern on your fabric, your pattern is going to be facing up. So let's pretend that this is our pattern and we are going to fold over the fabric in half. So the pattern you won't be able to see. All you're going to see is the wrong side of the fabric. This is correct, and we are going to pin all the way along here. Pin as much as you need, and remember that pattern is on the inside of here, so you're hiding your pattern because we're going to create a seam and we want to hide that raw seam. We don't want it on our scrunchie. Now I just like to keep that stitch length a little bit more closer together, and I'll show you which key I used. And here you go, this is the length button here, and you can just reduce it and increase it. Whenever there's like a solid key here, that means that it's the factory settings. That's what it's preset to do. So I'm going out of the pre-factory settings and I'm just making this stitch length a little bit more narrower. This would be the stitch width and this would be the tension. Here we go, and as you can see I have this like foot on with this groove. It's actually like a 1/4 of an inch foot guide, and it helps me get my perfect 1/4 of an inch every single time because that guide is there to help me. It's my favourite foot and I always use it. So I'm just going to go all the way down. It's best to have your pins facing upwards, so as you come close to removing them you can just pull them out as you go. Never ever ever ride over your pins. It's not good for your machine, it's not good for your eyeballs, it could really hurt. So let's stitch the scrunchie down for the first half. This is so easy. You're going to see how easy this is. So the next part of this exercise is to turn everybody right sides out. So the quickest way of doing this is just getting a safety pin like so, and you're going to fold him in and you are going to work all that fabric through, pushing that safety pin down. Just don't forget to not let go of the safety pin, and you're just going to keep going and pulling it all up and just going until you've worked it through to the very end. So don't forget to take off that safety pin, and you're going to end up with a tube that looks like this, and we are now going to cut a piece of elastic. So I've now cut a piece of elastic. It's about 9 inches in length and a 1/4 of an inch in width. We're going to get our friendly safety pin again, and we are going to pin at one end, and we are going to get the end of our scrunchie and we are going to feed it through. Now obviously the length of the elastic is shorter than the scrunchie, so don't have anything popping out the other side, just be careful there, because you'll have to just restart all your work all over again. So we now have these two ends, and I'm going to stitch them together on my sewing machine. Now the reason I chose the triple stretch stitch is because it's like a straight stitch, but it will stretch with the material, so it's perfect for this project. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to go over it a few times. And the triple stretch stitch, it won't break. So if you don't have the stitch on your machine, please use a zigzag stitch, because that is another stitch that you use for stretchy fabrics. You can't use a straight stitch on a stretch. It's going to pop on you. I'm just going to take it down the centre, and then that's the elastic complete. There we go. Let me show you. It's a straight stitch, but you can put as much force on it as you want. It is not going to pop them stitches. And if you would have chosen a straight stitch on this, it would have popped right now. So if you don't have a triple stretch stitch, please use a zigzag stitch, because that's the stitch that will hold this in place. One thing about sewing is getting them finishing touches perfect. So as you can see, I have tucked in the raw seams here. They are tucked in. So this one is where the raw edges are showing, but you just want to tuck everybody in, and I just went to my iron and I pressed. So now there's going to be no fraying of fabric. Everybody is all tucked in. Next part is up to you. You could either hand stitch this in place if you wanted to at the two seams, like so. You could just hand stitch all that all the way around. What I am going to do is, because I really don't think it's going to make a difference to the overall appeal once it's in your hair, because that's how you're going to be wearing it, I am going to tuck one section inside of the other, and I'm just going to stitch it in place. Right down this seam. And I'm just going to use that same triple stretch stitch that we used before, and I'm going to sew everybody in place. This is so super easy. And then I'm just going to do another stitch. I'm going to have two stitches going down. And I'll just show you in a minute. So I've got loads of threads in the way, just bear with me 1 second. But can you see? Once that's in your hair and you've moved it about, you're not going to even see that seam. So there's really no point in losing sleep over it. So just stitch that in place like that. And it would have been better if I would have had some threads that would have matched this perfectly, because you really wouldn't see this. So all that's left to do is to place this scrunchie in my hair and totally have a 90s vibe out. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss seeing me next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.